Welcome to EDH Rec, a mishap of casual card-flinging Commander gameplay. Our goal is to push our decks and have the most fun possible playing MTG. I would like to thank our sponsors, HQ Gaming, who have created an amazing environment for tabletop gameplay. Currently, they have a 15% off all stock lockdown sale. Check the link in the description to pick up all of your nerd needs. Now for our players. First is Lliam, playing his Equipment Voltron Balan deck. Seeking to kill with commander damage is his strategy. His opening hand contains an Indomitable Archangel, Open the Vaults, Whisper Silk Cloak, and 2 planes. In second is Chibi, piloting his Estrid Pillar Fort Enchantress deck, which wants to create untapped value with Estrid to draw his deck. His opening hand is an Erexmithes the Slumbering Isle, Creeping Renaissance, Nezahal Primal Tide, Overgrowth, Evolving Wilds, Island, and a Plains. Next up is Herman's Crick, Son of Yawgmoth deck, which leverages life to cast a critical mass of spells. His opener consists of Liliana's Contract, Pestilence, Shriekmaw, Thrall Parasite, and 3 Swamps. Lastly is Scales, piloting Yisan the Wanderer Bard. This deck aims to combo Yisan activations and OTK with Craterhoof. His opening hand is a Karametra's Acolyte, Marwyn the Nurturer, Seedborn Muse, Terastodon, Wirewood Symbiote, and 2 Forests. Now that that's out of the way, let's get into the card slinging. Lliam starts the game off drawing and playing a Plains, passing to Chibi. Chibi draws, plays an Evolving Wild, searching for a tapped forest, as he also passes. Herman starts off with a Swamp and then taps it for a Thrall Parasite, passing. Scales starts by playing a Forest, tapping it for a Wirewood Symbiote. Lliam plays a Plains for turn, then taps out for an Open the Armory, revealing Dowsing Dagger. Chibi untaps, playing an Island, and bluffing with an open mana, passes. Herman plays a Swamp, and also bluffing, ships the turn. Scales draws, smacks down a Forest, tapping for a Copperhorn Scout. He then attacks Chibi for 1 with the Symbiote. On Liam's turn, he plays a Plains, following it up with Danitha Capuchin Paragon, and passing. Chibi plays another Forest for turn, then taps out to enchant that forest with Overgrowth, and passes. Herman draws and plays a Swamp, then taps 3 for Burnished Heart. With his ramp on the board, he passes. Scales misses a land drop, looks at the table, and passes. Lliam untaps and draws, then plays a reduced Dowsing Dagger. He gives the plants to Herman, and equips Danitha. Then swinging at Chibi for 4, gaining 4 life, and flipping Dowsing Dagger. He floats 3 mana from Lost Veil, playing Swiftfoot Boots, and he follows that up with the Whisper Silk Cloak, passing. Chibi kicks his turn off with the Plains, and organizes his mana to bluff Plowshares, whilst tapping for Erexmithes the Slumbering Isle, which enters with 5 counters. Herman also misses a land, and thus passes. Scales keeps to the trend by missing another land, but taps for a Scrib Ranger and passes. On Liam's turn, he taps his Lost Veil for a Foundry Inspector, and immediately spits out an Inquisitor's Flail for free. He then successfully equips the flail to Danitha, and fearing the Isle, attacks Scales for 4, gaining 4 life. Chibi untaps, plays a Plains, and follows it up with an Enchantress Presence, removing a counter from Erexmithes. He then plays Farseek, finding a tapped Hallowed Fountain and choosing to leave the counter, and passing. Herman gets a Myriad Landscape into play tapped, then he extorts a Mind Stone, pinging for 1 and gaining 3. He follows up by extorting an evoked Shriekmaw, targeting Danitha, killing it. Everyone celebrates as Scales plays a Forest, which he follows up with Lifecrafter's Bestiary. On Liam's turn, he casts Balan, wary of Chibi's open mana. He then activates Balan's ability, equipping Flail, Cloak, and Boots, then attacking Herman for 12 commander damage with Balan's passive. Chibi taps Erexmathes to cast Search for Asganta on his turn, down ticking Erexmathes to 3 and drawing with Enchantress's Presence. He then plays an island and taps 6 for Nezahal Primal Tide, removing a counter and passing. Herman starts by playing Pestilence, giving Chibi a draw. Scales pauses to take a good look at Nezahal, then casts Lignify on it, to which Chibi draws and discards 3 cards to blink Nezahal and fizzle Lignify. A Plains hits the field for Lliam, which he follows up with Endless Atlas. Lliam then activates it to draw a card, and plays an Indomitable Archangel, swinging 12 at Chibi's. Chibi's untaps, draws and plays Cultivate, and taps 5 to play Oath of Teferi, drawing and putting the Isle on 1, not bouncing anything. He then plays Mirror Maid, targeting Enchantress's Presence. He ends by playing Command Tower, searching for a forest to the field and an island to hand. Herman taps 4 and pays for life to play Crick, Son of Yawgmoth on his turn. Scales scries at upkeep, drawing and playing a forest. Then taps 3 and plays Yisan the Wanderer Bard, tapping an extra mana to draw from Lifecrafter's Bestiary. Lliam plays another Plains and activates the Atlas to draw. He then moves to equip his boots to the Angel, which Herman responds to by paying 2 life and dealing 1 to each player and creature, then paying another 4 life to cast Malicious Affliction, drawing Chibi a card and destroying Nezahal and the Angel. Lliam then swings 12 at Scales. Chibi untaps, draws, and flips to Asganta the Sunken Ruin, then plays an island, taps it to play Calyx Destiny's Hand, upticking to 5 and revealing Blind Obedience and casting it, drawing 2, making Erexmathes a creature. He then upticks Calyx again with Oath of Teferi, revealing Fertile Ground and also casting it, drawing 2 and passing. To which Herman activates Myriad Landscape for 2 swamps, which Lliam responds with the Swords to Plowshares on Crick. Herman untaps and plays a swamp, and then plays Bontu's Monument, tapping 5 and losing 4 life to cast Crick, but gaining 1 from Bontu's and pinging the table for 1 damage. Scales scries to the bottom and draws, playing another forest. He then casts Marwyn the Nurturer and draws with Bestiary, followed up by a Llanowar Elf, giving Marwyn a counter. Lliam draws, plays a Plains and draws with Atlas, then plays a Sword of Kaldra. But as it's on the stack, Herman activates Pestilence twice, killing Balan. At Liam's end step, Chibi activates Asganta, finding an Oblivion Ring. He then plays an Argothian Enchantress, and follows up with the Wilderness Reclamation, drawing 3 at the beginning of his turn. He then upticks Calyx twice, finding Sphere of Safety and Propaganda. Then, floating 1 green, he casts Estrid the Masked, upticking to untap all his enchanted permanents. He then casts Verduran Enchantress, and floating another 3 mana, plays Sphere of Safety, drawing 4. He then untaps with Estrid, going to 7. He then floats 5, casting Sterling Grove for 2, and drawing 4 cards. He continues with the Glacial Fortress, and with the floating 3 plays Propaganda, drawing another 4 cards, passing and untapping with Wilderness Reclamation. He then discards 11 cards. Herman plays a Liliana's Contract, shouting, "Race you to the bottom," drawing 4 and losing 4 life. He then plays a tapped Kakusho, the Evening Star, gaining a life and dealing 1 to the table. Scales scries to the top, then casts an Eternal Witness, getting Lignify back from the yard. He then lignifies Erexmathes, to which Chibi activates Asganta, with their Rexsmithy's mana, getting a Weirding Wood and resolving Lignify. Lliam starts off by playing Inventor's Fair, then taps to cast Balan and immediately activates his equip ability, floating 1 white. In response, Chibi, however, casts Generous Gift, targeting Balan. Lliam, before the gift resolves, activates Balan again, fizzling the Generous Gift. At the end of Liam's turn, Chibi casts Shared Summons, searching for Tuvasa the Sunlit and Heliod, God of the Sun. Chibi draws, then taps to play Weirding Wood, targeting as Ganter, drawing 4 and creating a clue. He then taps for Bant and plays Wargate for 0, searching up a Sanctum of Eternity and playing it for turn. He creates a mask on Sanctum, then displays his loop. He produces 7 mana with Enchanted Permanence, which he taps, then uses Sanctum to bounce Estrid and replay her, repeating the process and netting 8 mana to go infinite. He then plays Heliod, God of the Sun, drawing 4 cards, and upticks Calyx, missing once and getting a Gift of Paradise. He then wipes the board with Supreme Verdict, killing Kokusho, gaining Herman 15 and getting the table for 5. To counteract the life loss, Chibi plays Approach of the Second Sun, gaining 7 life, and looking to draw it again, plays Replenish, returning Thassa, God of the Sea, Eidolon of Blossoms, Wild Growth, Ghostly Prism, Oblivion Ring, and Leyline of Anticipation, drawing 6 from Eidolon. He then activates as Ganter, putting Approach in hand and casting it to win the game. Congrats to Chibi on his Approach win, which was incidentally his favorite standard deck. It is a shame, however, that we didn't get to see more of Yisan because of missed land drops and a crippling board wipe from Herman. Thus, the best card was definitely Pestilence, as Herman threatened to level the board at any moment. The best deck goes to Estrid, which shone through this game due to the relative lack of disruption from the table. Thanks again to HQ Gaming for making this video such a success. Don't forget to take advantage of their 15% off sale, just follow the link below. Lastly, it would mean a great deal to us at EDH Rec if you would like and subscribe, as well as leave a comment. Check out our other videos if you enjoyed.